Hi, so my name is Benjamin, as said, and I'm the project leader of the GeeXboX distribution for quite 7 years now. And we have designed a new media center application that I'm going to present to you guys now. So again, GeeXboX is a major live CD multimedia distribution since 2003. Back at the time, there were only MoveX distribution, for the one who might remember of it, who was also a live CD distribution. And the idea of the distribution at this time was to be able to turn the computer into full-feature set-top boxes. At the time, many computers were had difficulties playing back several kind of videos of audio codecs or video codecs, whatever, and we wanted to make some distribution that only does this purpose. So the idea was that with a live CD, one can just boot his PC and be able to run every kind of multimedia content he has: photos, videos, audio files, whatever. And we wanted it to be able to stream from various media locations, so we are able to read files from either your hard disk, from the NFS, or for Samba, for the network storage. Also, we wanted to add support for the UPnP or DLNA streaming protocol. So again, also with the CDDA support and DVD support, analog TV support, DVB playback, this kind of thing. So at the time, it was a really small and tiny distribution, which was at the very first release only 3 megabit big, or small, depends on the point of view. But it's something that really can boot your PC really quick, and as a live CD, you can also shut it down really quick. The idea was to replace when it was designed, to replace the first hardware set-top boxes. So when it was designed, it was the time of the first KISS set-top boxes, the first one that were able to play the DivX files on your TV. So that was the idea of the distribution. So obviously, we had to make it fully controllable through your remote control, through LIRC. And as you may see on the right, this is a screenshot of the interface, which honestly is quite ugly. And this is still the existing interface. And we have designed the new interface, which is called Enna, which aims at replacing this one. The GeeXboX project was designed by a few employer developers, including myself. And as you may see, the design is quite simple because it uses the employer OSD interface. So it's also quite limited. Again, as we are using right now the employer OSD interface, it is quite difficult to add any new functionalities. So what we wanted is to really split the media player interface from the user interface. Also, with the GeeXboX being completely based upon employer project and being employer developers, we introduced many features that were not at this time in the regular employer project. So we introduced the support for the DVD nav, enhanced a lot of things in the OSD menu, had some TV control, LCD display supports, RTSP streaming, and things like this. Of course, nowadays, all of these features have been included in the upstream project. But as a consequence, many of the users requested us that the features that GeeXboX originally proposed, they requested us for these features to be able to be used in other distributions than GeeXboX. So we had the willingness to create a new GUI, which had to be portable, which had to be configurable and extensible. So it has to work on any kind of display, whether it is frame buffer based or Xorg or OpenGL based, anything like this. And again, it had to be a standalone application that can run on any distribution, not just GeeXboX. So the application that we are talking about is called Enna. It's you have on the right a few screenshots of the application, which, as you can see, is far different from the previous screenshot that you've seen of the current interface. Enna has been designed to be the GUI for the GeeXboX 2.0 release. It's a media center application that is meant to be used as a home theater PC and is meant to run on low resources computers. So the binary itself is only 250 kilobytes big. Of course, then you add the theme files, which are composed of all the JPEGs, PNG, and things like this. So it's quite enhance a bit the resource consumption. But we have decided to make the GUI relies on the Enlightenment Foundation Libraries project. So we will see this a bit later on. But as for the graphical interface, so we relies on the EFL, and as for all of the multimedia playback capabilities and all the metadata retrieval, we rely on two separated projects which are called libplayer and libvalala, which are a project that has been created by the GeeXboX folks. So here you can see quite a simple interface or view of what Enna really is. So Enna is in the green squares. You have all the libs that have been designed by the GeeXboX teams. So Enna itself, which relies on the libplayer AV framework and on the libvalala metadata engine, and for the graphical interface, it relies on the Enlightenment Foundation libraries, or also known as the EFL, which mostly are the projects called Enna, EAT, EVAS, eCore, Edge, and Elementary. As for the libplayer framework, it relies on different media player backends, so we can control MPlayer, Xin, VLC, GStreamer, and of course, this player control the audio and video render layers. EVAS itself is also used to control the video render for the graphic display, but it also is used in order to control the input layer. So one of the first library we designed is called libplayer. This is a multimedia AV abstraction layer that was used to, I would say, to control various multimedia players. So the willingness is that some people, some of the users we have made some complaints that we are stick to MPlayer, and for some reason it was good in the past. It was maybe not as good as it used to be nowadays, because VLC might be better for playing the net streams, Xin might be better for playing DVDs and things like this. So we have designed an AV abstraction layer that actually provides a generic API, and this API allows us to control all of these players. So MPlayer, Xin, VLC, and GStreamer. The two first ones are pretty much stable. The two last ones are in a pretty much experimental stage at the moment. So it basically can play, but with still a lot of bugs. The application or the library has been designed to be fully multi-threaded and also thread safe. And it allows any front end to use it to control any media players through various audio and video renderers, so ELSA, OSS projects for the audio ones, and either the frame buffer, OpenGL, SDL, VDPIU, X11, or Xvideo for the video layers. This is some internal drawings of the libplayer architecture. Just to say, the slides will be available on our website, so as they are a bit complicated, if you want to spend any more time to check about the architecture, they will be available on the website. As for libplayer, as I said, we have one public player API. This player API is used to expose the control to various media players. So what you have designed is this API, and the front ends, which at the moment is Enna only, but many other applications might be able to use it. Just have to send some controls to a control queue. The controls can be very simple. They are the the playback, stop, pause, seeking, backward, forward, any kind of things. And through this, we have a lot of internal structures that actually calls different wrappers. So when you register your player public API, you have to register a new player structure, which you first define to be one of the 4 players that we support. And then the wrapper engine actually translates all the public API calls into one of the multimedia player API. So except from mPlayer, which by comparison to the other libraries isn't really a library, and so mPlayer only can be controlled through the slave mode, which is a FIFO-based mechanism. And we have implemented a complete wrapper that interacts with mPlayer through this FIFO mechanism. One of the ideas of libplayer is to provide this video abstraction layer so that we might be able to control several new players or new things that might come in the future without having to change anything on the front end, so on the user interface. Next one that we use is libvalhalla. Libvalhalla is a tiny media scanner library. It has been designed to feature high performances and multi-threaded implementation. What it does is storing various information on your media files into a SQLite database. So in order to do that, it parses the audio-video stream properties through the FFmpeg project. And it also allows to grab many information from online websites in order to fetch covers, lyrics, synopsis, list of actors for your movies, and things like this. On the bottom, you may see the different grabbers that we currently support. So as for the offline mechanisms, we support EXIF, FFmpeg, and the NFO files. And for the online, we support different websites that provide such kind of information. We probably won't spend much time on this, but this is some internal mechanisms of libvalhalla and how it works. So we have a scanner that actually calls many grabbers that can be, again, either offline or online, and retrieves the various informations from different content providers and store them within a database. If you're interested in the architecture, you may check the slides on the website. And as for Enna itself, again, a few more screenshots on the right. You may see it as it has been designed with embedded considerations in mind. So it has a low footprint, and it also was meant to be user convenient and plug and play. So the idea is that anyone without any computer skills is able to use the interface. As for now, we have many modules that has been designed, so basic features like the music player, the movie and TV show players, also a photo viewer, weather forecast activities, and some online ebook reader that uses some content providers. So we have 2 at the moment. One is called the One Manga website, and another is the Go Comics one. So these are 2 websites where we can fetch ebooks or comics and things like this, and you can display them on your set-top box. As for the feature, as it was the case with GeeXboX, we support playing back from the local disk, from CDDA, DVD, database, shoutcast, podcast. We support the UPnP and DLNA playback. Also, the application supports all the dynamic media detection through the UDEV library. So it's a replacement for the HAL that is currently dying. And so we may discover how many hard drive you have. If you plug a new USB key, it automatically appears on your applications and things like this. Again, it has been designed to be controllable through the keyboard, the mouse, or the touch screen. And as for the mid and long-term features, we expect to port it to Windows and to OS X. Currently, it runs only on Linux and has been packaged to Ubuntu. And as you may see, many other features that might come, like video on demand, voice over IP, and things like this. We have the project is still young, and a few enhancements are due to spring, and it will be part of the GeeXboX 2.0 release that is supposed to be coming by the beginning of the month. Okay, so thank you for your attention. If you have any other questions, you can.